Hello, my name is Gabby Benkenstein, and today I'm going to be talking about branched-chain amino acids. And more specifically, do branched-chain amino acids speed up recovery in resistance training athletes? So what are branched-chain amino acids? They are essential amino acids, specifically leucine, valine, and isoleucine, and they are said to have positive effects on the recovery and muscle building process, aiding in muscle protein synthesis and therefore reducing delayed onset muscle soreness, resulting in improved athletic performance. The first study that I researched, AIM, was to assess the recovery of exercise-induced muscle damage through the supplementation of branched-chain amino acids. This study was in the format of a double-blind match-paced design. In the experiment, there were 16 participants, all of which were resistance train athletes with at least 3 years of training history. They were all administered a diet plan to follow 48 hours before the study and until the last day of testing. They were split between a placebo group and a group that would be administered the branched-chain amino acids. During the experiment, all the diets were controlled and monitored. From the study, they found that acute oral supplementation of branched-chain amino acids was sufficient to increase the rate of recovery in isomeric strength, CMJ height, and perceived soreness compared with placebo after a hypertrophy-based training session among resistant train athletes. This shows that the supplementation of branched-chain amino acids for resistance training athletes can reduce the recovery period and allow for better performance. The second study aimed to assess the effects of BCAA supplementation on males while undergoing eccentric exercise. Eccentric exercise is a type of resistance training that involves slowing down the movement of an exercise. This training was done while on a strict protein diet. The study involved using a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled research design, where 20 males were enrolled into a BCAA group or a placebo group. Both groups were required to keep food and exercise logs throughout the study. Baseline testing was taken on the first day of the study, and as the exercises were carried out, subsequent tests were taken to monitor the recovery of the men. In the study, they found that the supplementation of a high-protein diet with BCAA reduced perception of muscle soreness. However, the supplementation did not seem to do much in lessening other indirect effectors of muscle damage. This shows that the recovery of the athlete is improved as perception of muscle soreness is lessened, and so less time is needed for recovery. However, it seems that the abilities of BCAA and recovery of muscles are limited. The third study aimed to assess whether BCAA supplementation promotes the repair of exercise-induced muscle damage via enhancing macrophage polarization. This was done through a randomized clinical trial using rats. The rats were split into 4 groups. First, they were split into injured and non-injured, and then subsequently split into BCAA and placebo. They were all required to do exercises, and on days 1, 3, 5, and 7, certain mice were sacrificed from each group, and their blood and muscles were collected. From examining these samples, the study found that the muscle fibers of the gastrocnemius in the placebo group showed varying degrees of swelling and dilated intracellular space after exercise-induced muscle damage. Moreover, the serum CK levels were increased after exercise-induced muscle damage. Importantly, with BCAA treatment, the muscle fibers swelling was decreased on the first day after EIMD, and the serum CK levels were lower at the 5th and 7th day after EIMD, compared with those in the placebo group. This shows that BCAA supplementation decreases recovery time. Although it is not common to receive side effects from taking BCAA supplementation. There are certain side effects that include stomach problems with nausea, bloating, and diarrhea, fatigue, and loss of coordination. And it is also not recommended for pregnant women. Through the information obtained from the research study, can be concluded that branched-chain amino acids are an effective way of increasing performance in resistance training athletes by reducing the extent to which muscle soreness occurs by aiding muscle repair.